Welcome back to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Ewell, and today we're going to be talking about the habit of habit math. So as we get into today's episode, I want to just let you know who this is actually for. This is for that person that's struggling to implement a new habit into their life. This is for the struggling entrepreneur who wants to start investing in themselves every single day, and they just don't know exactly where to start or how to start. The person that thinks they need to be perfect when it comes to habits, the entrepreneur who thinks they need to start out at a maximum efficiency in time and duration of habits. And this episode is going to impact you in a major way, in a massive way. And the reason it's going to impact you in a major way is because this is so simple and gets broken down in simplified terms to where anybody who wants to start, making exercise a habit, making, nutrition choices a habit, making meditation a habit, making prayer, journaling, making, business a habit, where it was studying, making, relationships habit, whatever habit you want to begin, you want to tune into today's episode because I'm going to break it down in a way that will make sense to you more than anything else. In fact, this one way has transformed the lives of thousands of people I've had the opportunity to work with. And I've also really been able to craft this in a way that I believe is the top way to actually begin implementing new habits into your life, getting you to where you can perform at your true potential in business, in life, in really any area. And the cool thing about this is you can really leverage this as a foundation for you to begin making changes in your habits. So today, as we talk about this habit math, this was a concept that I created, like I said, to teach anyone how to not only start a new habit, but to implement them in simplified terms into their lives. For the last year, I have taught this concept called the 2-minute rule. And if you've ever read the book Atomic Habits, James Clear goes into great detail on this. He talks about the 2-minute rule and how, implementing any type of change is hard. This is one of the best habit books out there, keep in mind. But implementing a change is hard. And so when we go through change or we go through implementing into a new habit, the important thing is that we have to make things simple and we have to make them easy. And we have to begin to leverage habits that we are already successful at, because here's the reality is everyone is successful at a habit. Everyone is unsuccessful at a habit. And rather than looking at them as good or bad, I like to look at them as, hey, does this habit give me what I want? Or maybe not give me what I want. And so as I break this down, I want you to start thinking in terms of art and science over habits. See, change is hard. And habits are no different. If they weren't hard, then they wouldn't, everybody would be able to do them. They wouldn't be real change. So the key inside of this is we have to, again, make this simple, make them easy, because change is hard. Change offers lots of resistance. And so the simpler we keep this, the simpler it is to change. So if you're thinking about this, let's just talk about the 2-minute rule. The 2-minute rule is a very basic concept. It's simple, it's easy, and it really states, hey, you have to do anything or implement a new habit. It has to be done under 2 minutes or less. And if you think about that, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Is I remember one of the trainers that I used to have in my training facility man, this is probably going back like 10 years ago. He used to always scream out, you can do anything for 2 minutes. But really think about that. When it comes to working out, when it comes to, meditation, when it comes to prayer, when it comes to journaling, when it comes to like a mindfulness practice of maybe some heart rate variability, breathing, when it comes to reading, when it comes to, maybe even getting on video and speaking or leaving an audio or even doing a message to a loved one. When you think of, hey, you have 2 minutes to do this, the first place your mind goes is, man, I can do this for 2 minutes. I can do anything for 2 minutes. I can go run for 2 minutes. I could eat vegetables for 2 minutes, like whatever. But imagine this 2 minutes or less was really a deposit. And if we think about this, if I'm making deposits, if I'm beginning to make investments, and the more consistent with this deposit, the more consistent I am with my investment, and the more I'm accumulating and the more repetitions I'm doing, the simpler and the easier it gets. Now, over time, consistency, over so many more repetitions, things begin to happen and they begin to shift. The shift starts to take place and results start happening. The times when habits feel the hardest, for you to do and the most resistant are really the most valuable. So think about times in your life where you're like, man, I don't really want to go work out. I don't really want to go for this run. I don't really want to eat this thing that I'm supposed to eat. I don't really want to leave my spouse a message. I don't really want to read a book. I don't really want to do a video. These are the times when it's the most valuable. And having a rule like the 2-minute rule, what if I just did this for 2 minutes? It makes it really simple. But when it comes to habits begin to pay dividends over time. You begin to transform not only the area that you're working on, but your entire life. You become a new person. You become a new identity when you begin to transform these things. But as I studied this 2-minute rule, I was really fascinated by it. I'm like, man, this is so simple, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough just to do the 2 minutes. What about after 2 minutes? And how long do I do the 2 minutes before I go to the next thing? And so what I started to do is started to test this on my clients. I started to leverage this and test this on myself, on my clients, and really understand when is the best time to change this time? When is the best time to implement this strategy? So in that, I decided like, okay, well, what was the next step in this? Because it doesn't really say that. Well, it's important that we leverage another tool at this place. And this was, the habit stack. And the habit stack is something else that you would learn if you read that book. There's also a couple other books out around habits that are the habit stack. The way that they teach them, though, is it's kind of like a habit stack where, let's say, working out was the habit I did consistently. And the one I really wanted to start doing was meditation. I would work out first and then I would meditate. And so it'd be kind of the buy-in to that. Or maybe it was, the habit of, working out and then I wanted to start implementing brushing your teeth. Hopefully that's not you, but you get the idea. So we would do the habit we always did first and then we do the other habit last. I don't like that way of doing it. So I actually do it the opposite way. The opposite way is if let's say you wanted to work out, and in order for me to work out, I would have to, meditate if this was the new habit I wanted to start. And so what I would do is I would start meditation and then I would go into my workout. So it's kind of like a buy-in, or, maybe until if brushing my teeth was something that there was a lot of resistance there, I'd brush my teeth and that was my buy-in to maybe my coffee or maybe my workout or maybe, my meditation. But the habit stack to me works much better when the habit you avoid is done first as the buy-in to the habit you're already consistent with. And so what I began to do is said, okay, listen, like let's take this 2-minute rule. Let's take this habit that I'm consistent with. And by the way, everyone's consistent with at least one habit, even if we go down to brushing your teeth. And that is kind of your go-to thing. But let's take this 2-minute rule and let's take, you want to start meditating. And let's take, brushing your teeth as the thing that you consistently do every day. And so we would start taking this meditation and we would do it for 2 minutes. And I want to remind you of this. And the way I came up with this concept is taking this 2-minute rule and adding the habit stack with it. And then we get out of that habit math, which I'm going to walk you through in a second. Now, we take the meditation, we take the 2-minute rule, we take this habit stack, we take the brushing your teeth, and we start meditating for 2 minutes. So we start meditating for 2 minutes. That's my buy-in to brush my teeth. That's my buy-in, maybe if you like to have coffee, and we know what coffee can do to your teeth. So I brush my teeth, I drink coffee, I meditate, and then I go work out. I put my shoes on, or let's back up. I journal, I put my shoes on. And so these are ways that I begin to stack my habits. Now, we do these things for 2 minutes. So I decided I wanted to create a version of this that my clients would really benefit from, that I would benefit from. And I started to see this accelerated results. And I want you to understand something, that I can get you to an optimal level of any habit within 25 days. And I can teach you 8 different habits that you can do, and it would start out requiring you 16 minutes a day. And by the end of 25 days, you would hit every single habit in 60 total minutes. And in that 60 total minutes, you would have 8 quality habits. You would have them down into simplified form. You would consistently be doing them, and you would absolutely be changing your life in a matter of 20 to 25 days. Now, I've had hundreds of clients use this method just to transform their habits, their lives, from fitness to meditation to, reconnecting with their spouse, to having, more sex, to literally like learning about themselves and their business. So don't skip the power inside of this, no matter where you think you're at. Now, if you're advanced in your habits, I'm going to teach you an advanced protocol or an advanced way. But really, this is about multiplying until we get the results over time. So you can use this method for meditation. You can use it for workouts. In fact, meditation and workouts are the 2 longest things that you're going to be doing. Everything else is going to be under 10 minutes or less. So here's how it works. And if you have a pen and paper, you may want to come back and listen to this, but take any new habit. And for this, time, I want to use meditation, and we'll take the habit. Let's just say we're starting out, and let's say brushing my teeth is my most consistent habit that I'm doing every single day. And so I'm going to take a new habit. Let's say it's meditation. And with meditation, I'm going to do 2 minutes of meditation, and then I brush my teeth. Now, after 5 consecutive days, I then can double my time. And so the main thing here is after 5 consecutive days, 5, why did I pick 5? 5 is the number that I've seen that works best on people. I've tried 7, I've tried 10, I've tried 3, I've tried 2, I've tried many numbers, but what I've really found is 5 works best. But after 5 consecutive days, you can now double this time. And so that means you would, after 5 days, you would go to meditating for 4 minutes. And after 5 consecutive days, you would go to meditation for 8 minutes. Because again, we would double the time. Then we would take that 8 minutes and go another 5 consecutive days. Now we're at day 15 and we are now at 16 minutes. Now keep in mind that most books, most things you read will tell you the best place for time to meditate is going to be around 16 to 20 minutes. That means in 15 days, 15 consecutive days, I have gotten to 16 minutes meditation. And I can obviously bump up to 20. I can just keep using this. But remember this, the key thing inside of this is to make it simple, to make it easy, and to make it doable, to make it a routine. And so as you're doing this, say I wanted to take it to the next level. Maybe I started out working out and I wanted to go to 32 minutes of working out. And so in 20 days, 25 days, I'm now at 32 minutes. I don't usually recommend my clients to do much more than 32 minutes of exercise unless, especially in the beginning, unless they've been working out for quite a while. Obviously, you're going to probably do more, but these are kind of for the beginner just wanting to start something out. So instead of meditation, maybe it's fitness for you, or maybe it's journaling. Here's the thing that I found with journaling is, I don't go much more than about 4 to 8 minutes on journaling. And so really I'm at journaling within that 2 to 3 week period. I'm at that max time. As far as reading, I don't go much over about 10 to 15 minutes because I find that the more I read, the less likely I am at implementing what I'm reading. The more I read, the more information overload I'm getting. And this is me speaking for me. And so imagine if we, kind of the core habits I teach inside a habit-based lifestyle, we're talking about fitness as number one, to kind of kick off everything else. We're talking about fuel, whether it's, a green drink, green smoothie, green vegetables. I don't care. Obviously green vegetables, eating them raw is the number one way. Sometimes in the morning that doesn't really feel or taste the best. We're talking about meditation, prayer, journaling. These are all things that we can start inside of that 2 minutes. Then we're talking about, leaving your spouse a message every single day, leaving a message to your kids. If you don't have a spouse or kids, leave one to a loved one. It really only takes you about 2 minutes. And then we're talking about reading, something about business, something about your life that interests you, something you might be passionate about. And then we talk about declaring it. Like, what did you learn? And having 2 minutes to declare that. And what's cool about this is, think about it. If you say, listen, I only have 2 minutes to teach somebody this concept, it gets you really good and really efficient at the important pieces of that. And so imagine if I had these 8 habits I wanted to implement in my life, I would start out at about 16 minutes total. It would take me to do this. And again, I would be brushing my teeth at the end of those. And I would go through a 2-minute workout. Let's just say I had a green drink. It was less than 2 minutes to get that down. Let's say I was meditating, I did some prayer, and I did some journaling. And I did that all in 2 minutes. And here's the thing is, you'll be surprised at what closing your eyes for 2 minutes or just doing some basic breathing, box breathing for 2 minutes, what that actually does to your life, to your presence. And so it doesn't matter if you've been doing habits forever. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out. What matters is that you have some foundational tools that you can go back to start implementing them in. Because here's what I know, as easy as they are to stop doing, we have to make them easy, even easier and simpler for you to start doing them. Otherwise, we're going to be all over the place. So just think about this. After week 1 or after 5 days, I'm now going to double my time. Now, the cool thing is I don't necessarily need to double my time in everything. I just need to begin to double my time in things like, reading, and things like meditation, and things like working out. And most of my stuff isn't going to be much over 4 minutes. Really, beyond that, the biggest high priority is going to be meditation around 16 minutes to 20 minutes. And then the next thing would obviously be working out, which is eventually going to be around 32 minutes. But as you're going through this, just understand that if you're just starting out, just start with 2 minutes. It's not about the 2 minutes you're starting out with today. It's about knowing that in 20 to 25 days, I'm going to be at the optimal level inside of these 8 areas. Now, if you're overwhelmed, start with 2. If you're overwhelmed with, 2, or you feel like you can do 2, maybe you can go to 4 habits. If you're crazy like me and you just want to implement all of them at once, then start with all 8. But it doesn't really matter. What matters is that you start with this 2-minute rule and you start using it and leveraging it with habit stacking. So here's what I do know and here's what I've watched. You can start this 2-minute rule with all or any habit. Not all of them need 32 minutes. In fact, fitness is the only one that does. Meditation is going to be 16. Studies around 8. Journal, declare, daily messages. These are around 4 minutes or less. And then you have, green vegetables, a green drink. Maybe it's a supplement you want to take for fuel. I don't care what it is, but imagine a supplement, putting it in your mouth, drinking it. I mean, that takes like 10, 15 seconds if you're prepared. So listening to this, you may be like, man, this is a lot. This is overwhelming. I would just say start at 1 habit. If you feel like, hey, I've got some of these down, I'm already at optimal time, I just need to add a couple more, then add a couple more, but use the 2-minute rule and the habit stacking. Leverage some of the habits you're already doing. If you feel like you have almost all down and you just need to add 1, well, that's a super easy place to start. But you could literally start this and start implementing 1 new habit every single week using this formula, and you will have optimal habits within 20 to 25 days, and your life will be completely different. Your identity will be changing, and you will be living by what I call 1% better every single day. And imagine 1% better every single day using this formula. Now, there's one thing that I was asked is, well, what happens if you miss a day? What happens, if you're in that 5-day window and you miss 1? Well, I will tell you this, just like I tell my clients, is it's better to go back to the level you were at before. So let's say you made it to 8 minutes on reading and you're on like 15 days and you skip that 1 day of reading. I would have you go back to the previous time, which was 4 minutes. Make sure you hit 5 consecutive days and then bump back up to the 8 minutes. Make sure you hit 5 consecutive days. If you want to go up higher, you can. If you want to stay there, stay there. But the important thing is that we fall back to the previous foundation, the previous number, so that we can rebuild that foundation and start going to that next level. And so I know this is a lot. I'm also going to put in the show notes a PDF that will make a lot of sense and will really help you with this. But I really want you to tap into this and use this in a way that is going to take your life and whatever habit you're doing to the next level. And I want you to understand that this is one of the things that changed the most for me. This had the greatest impact on me, this habit math. This had the greatest impact on my clients, and it's going to have the greatest impact on you if you just continue to do this. So I want to thank you guys for being on here. And I want you to know, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me, jesse@habitbasedlifestyle.com. But I can't tell you, again, I can't stress how important it is to do this and do this consistently. Make it simple, make it easy, make it fun. Habit stack it into some crazy things that you're already doing, these fun habits you're already doing, and you will enjoy this, and you'll do it in a way that makes it super simple and so much less resistance. If you guys are looking to connect further with a group of like-minded people, join myself and so many others in the Habit-Based Lifestyle Secrets group on Facebook, where I will be dropping daily habits to help you live to your full potential. If you want to be one of our next case studies and begin living this habit-based lifestyle. Maybe you have questions, comments, or requests. Feel free to reach out to me, jesse@habitbasedlifestyle.com. Check out my website, habitbasedlifestyle.com. Until next episode, have a great day.